Hello, YouTubers, and welcome back to another episode of The Grandstand here on the Ohio Patriot Education Network YouTube channel. I'm, as always, your host, AR the Ohio Patriot. And for today's quick episode, we're going to talk about Adam22. I forget if this dude's a YouTuber or a Twitch streamer or what the hell he's supposed to be, honestly. But let's call him what he really is. A fucking beta cuck, legitimately. This dude, I was watching the one clip from whatever podcast here that was put up here in the last day or so that it is. And it was the 10, 15 minutes, whatever, this guy trying to explain why he let his wife be fucked by other men. And it's like, dude, there's no explanation for that shit. You are a fucking beta piece of shit, period, in the story. You are both morally and spiritually bankrupt. You have no fucking God because you worship false idols like greed and money and everything else like that's what it is. And yeah, you're clearly just a douchebag is what it is, man, in general. And I love how this guy is all like, oh, my wife and I are both multi-millionaires, da, 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 da. But then, literally, in the same breath, he then turns around, because he's talking to the black dude that was on that cast that day. I'm not sure what that dude's name was offhand. But, yeah, he's then talking about, oh, well, we totally did this scene for financial reasons. So, really, you're just a lying sack of shit, just like Jake and Logan Paul have been for years, not decades now, is what it is, dude. You're a bunch of assholes who want to sit there and live like the fucking Joneses, essentially. You know, they'll keep up with the Joneses' old moniker and stuff. Where, on paper, you might be a multimillionaire. In reality, you don't have $10 to put in your fucking gas tank, is what it is. And that's what it is for most people anymore, dude. I was watching something as well in that one for the clip from Joe Rogan's podcast here a while ago, where it was some dude explaining the scumbaggery of the U.S. banking cartel is what it is there. And it was basically a dude talking about how the banking system actually works, and it basically explained how the whole thing crashed in the 1930s during the Great Depression, and it was because you had a bank run. You had what was then coined as a paper millionaire, which is basically you had all these people that, hit it big in the stock market back in the 1920s, what it was there. On paper, they were worth, $1 million, $2 million, $3 million, $10 million, whatever it was, doesn't matter. And then when they actually went to the bank to try to cash out, there was no money there. There was $50 there for everybody is what it was. And it's exactly what our banking system is doing nowadays is what it is, where you have, as this dude was explaining, it was basically you'll have somebody be forced to do a checking account opening with $100 or whatever it is. So it's the bank will put $10 of that towards that person's checking account to open it up legitimately. And then they'll loan out the other $90 to someone else. And then that person takes that $90, puts it into a different bank or whatever the case be. Then that bank, takes out, quite a bit of that is what it is. And then proceeds to loan out another chunk of it is what it is, dude. So basically it's all the same amount of money, just divided up 57 different times what it is, essentially. And it's kind of the same exact way how we're taxed like it is, where you have to basically, you get taxed when you get your paycheck from federal and state taxes and stuff like that, and local taxation as well, depending where you're working at. And then you get taxed again whenever you spend that money. And then whoever spends that money gets taxed again. And it's just this infinite cycle of fuckery is what it is, honestly. But yeah, with the Adam22 guy, though, it's a situation of him just being a cuck in general. The guy's a fucking idiot. The fact that in the first 2 minutes of the clip that I was watching there, he was talking about him and his wife and being like, well, we pushed our limits. How was it? He's like, we were pushing the boundaries of our relationship or something like that. It's like, what the hell kind of retarded ass nonsensical talk is that, dude? No, just admit you're a fucking beta cuck. Just admit you're probably gay, honestly, is my guess at this point, or at least bisexual anyway. Because you would only be having crazy devilish three-ways with other dudes and your wife if you were gay / bisexual. No straight man is gonna be in a fucking weird sex scene with another dude and a chick. That's just fucked up, dude. So yeah, the guy is 100% morally bankrupt is what it is. And there was even a couple of comments in that comment section that said just that, honestly. It was Yeah, there's one guy here that said Adam22 is financially rich, but morally and spiritually bankrupt. The God he worships is money, so he doesn't see anything wrong with what he's doing. He will one day realize that chasing money and fame as your sole purpose in life leads to a deep void and has repercussions that can only be realized after the fact. The thing is, though, I don't really feel sorry for the dude or his wife in the situation because they're both grown-ass adults. Who I feel sorry for is their child, who I believe is a little girl, honestly. And that little girl is going to be ridiculed the rest of her life, dude. Because there's that evidence out there that her mom was fucking other men on camera, her dad was okay with it, etc. And yeah, who's to say that at the age of like 15, 16, 17, that girl's not going to be in some fucking strip club or something like that, dude? You know? Or making terrible decisions like her own father and mother did, honestly, dude. And that's the problem. When those are your role models in general, dude, you're pretty much fucked in general, honestly, dude. Like, you wonder why so many young females in this country go into the strip clubs, go into the porn industry, etc. there. And that's exactly what it is at the end of the day. It's, they have daddy issues because their dad was a piece of shit in general, in most cases. The dude was morally bankrupt. He was criminally bankrupt. He was probably just a criminal in general in many cases, honestly. And yeah, it makes sense, honestly. And it's just sad, man. It's just sad to sit there and have this dude try to front like, oh, it's okay to be this thing, or whatever the case be. It's like, no, it's not, dude. That's the whole entire point. And I find it hilarious that that dude easily called you out on your, like, bluff. He called you out your bluff is what it was, honestly. You were trying to bluff, you were trying to front, etc. He called your fucking bluff. And what did you do during that cast? It was like about a half hour or so in, you fucking pussed out and ran out the fucking door like a little bitch that you are, honestly, is what it is, man. So, I'm not surprised in the least, honestly. But, yeah, it is what it is, man. I don't know if Honda's going to be able to do a chat tonight or not, because I know he got the strike last week for, I want to say it was medical misinformation, so unless he's going to go Rumble exclusive tonight or something like that, I'm not sure if we're going to do chat at all, for that matter, so. But, you know, I do think that's interesting, though. That you have YouTube trying to fuck with people yet again, and then, of course, they try to fuck with Matt earlier this week, too, for that matter. One thing that came out this week, actually, I thought was here in the last day or so, that was pretty funny, I thought, and this goes back to what I've discussed in the past with Ramaswamy and stuff like that. This guy keeps trying to win me over, man, I swear to God. Like, he'll do something real fucking dumb, like hang out with that piece of shit Jake Paul, and then like a couple days later, he'll say some real good shit that I'm like, damn it, stop trying to make me like you, bro. So, yeah, he was at, I think this was at Turning Point USA conference or something here. And he was talking about CNN and Van Jones basically he's saying that Vivek is going to be like a future dictator or whatever the case be. And he was like, just shut the fuck up. At a certain point, Van Jones, just shut the fuck up. So, yeah, it was good stuff, man. I thought it was pretty funny. It's something I would say, honestly. So, yeah, it is funny, dude. Other people were saying they wouldn't mind seeing Trump pick Vivek as VP. I don't know if he would, though, honestly, if we're being honest, dude, because, you know, people have had that sort of discussion in the past. I think Crowder was one of the biggest ones that had it, honestly. And he was discussing like a whole like Trump Vivek presidency, vice presidency kind of thing there. And it would basically be like two alphas butting heads all the time is what it is. So I could see Vivek being like a front man, though, if that be the case, like a press secretary or like some cabinet position, like maybe Secretary of State or something like that, if that be the case. Although I have heard talk now recently that there is a very real possibility that you're going to have in the upcoming Ohio midterm gubernatorial election here for 2026. It would be current Lieutenant Governor John Husted trying to run, AG Dave Yost trying to run, and then potentially Vivek all in the Republican primary, which, as I've said before, I'll say it again, I do plan on running on that myself, honestly, if we still exist as a country by then. So, if nothing else, I feel like, honestly, it would be a situation where if Vivek were to be in that position and try to run for governor of Ohio and stuff like that, I would have no problem backing him. Hell, I would actually go to him and confront him and be like, hey, dude, I know you're going to need lieutenant governor. I'm your guy. I'm the constitutionalist you need here, buddy. And then we just do what needs to be done to get it done, honestly. So, but yeah. Because either way, governor, lieutenant governor doesn't really matter, honestly, dude. I can still complete what I need to complete in either position is what it is there. to make this state better is what it is. So both for the Second Amendment and just in general for manufacturing, everything else like that is what it is then. So anyway, for future generations to come, obviously, because unlike other people, I understand that sometimes you need to be the guy that plants the tree whose shade you will never sit under. And I think, unfortunately, there are too many people right now, especially career politicians in this country, that will never follow that moniker of being the old man, old woman, etc., to plant a tree knowing they will never sit under that shade. Whereas I have no problem being the person that plants those trees, plants those roots, etc., knowing that I will never sit under that shade, but knowing I will leave a legacy in the process, though. And that's the entire point of the matter, is to make things better than they were before you, is what it is, for those that come after you. But anyway. Go into the comment section, honestly, on that Vivek post, which I thought was interesting here. This one guy was saying here, we're going to be gaslit into a dictatorship. I mean, we already kind of are facing dictatorship under Biden and company guy. So it's time to recalibrate the presumption that the Republican Party hasn't been seriously compromised. They've been working exclusively for Trump and in ways that are counter to U.S. interests and their own that just can't be explained. What the fuck do you think the Democrat Party is, guy? Like, I feel like you don't understand what gaslighting is, bro. Let's actually talk about the definition of gaslighting specifically, because I feel like people always get that wrong. So technically, according to looking it up here, textbook definitions is what it is here. This labels gaslighting is an insidious form of manipulation and psychological control. Victims of gaslighting are deliberately and systematically fed false information that leads them to question what they know to be true, often about themselves. It basically makes you think you're crazy is what it is, honestly, dude, in many cases. And then I guess there's actually 4 different types of gaslighting, according to this here is what it says. Let's see here. We got, 4 different types, which is outright lying, manipulation of reality, scapegoating, and coercion, which is pretty much what Democrats do every single day, man. All 4 of those things. Hell, you had that scumbag piece of shit demon Hakeem Jeffries legitimately come out and do outright lies, claiming that kids are subjected to gun violence and die from gun violence the most every single day. It's like, no, they don't, you fucking lying prick. What you're doing is you're using the false narrative that Mom's been acting with years ago is what it is, to sit there and make up fucking fake stats by putting 18 and 19-year-old grown-ass voting age adults into the fucking category of children, and then pushing that fucking thing of, oh, look at all these fucking children that were killed now in various ways through gun violence, even though 90% of them are fucking gangbanger shit is what it is, dude. And we've talked about that before, honestly. You take out all the gang-on-gang violence on that shit, dude, is what it is. And all the fucking drive-bys and everything else like related to the hood and stuff in this country, honestly, is what it is. And you have nothing. You have nothing left. You have like 10% that's like fucking suicides in this country, pretty much. Or like 9% suicide and then 1% actual like mass shootings and stuff like that is what it'll be then. So, yeah, it's just fucking bullshit entirely, dude. And I'm so sick and tired of these fuckers being in office after that shit, dude. Like, honestly, I'll say it like it is. I said it before, honestly. We need to have automatic disqualification of every state power in this country, legitimately. And if you're going to outright lie about stuff to push agendas like gun control, dude, you need to be fucking tossed out of office. Not only tossed out of office, tossed out of this fucking country on your ass at that point. Like, literally put on a fucking plane and fucking literally have a parachute put on your body or whatever the case be and fucking tossed out the thing like a fucking paratrooper, basically, over the soil of another country is what it is there. And then you can go fuck yourself is what it is after the fact. So, anyway. Yeah, some other people were saying they don't like Vivek at all. Somebody else said having a hard time believing Vivek is behind Nikki Haley or Chris Christie in the polling. Well, that's the thing, right? All these polls are manipulated, dude. Like, that's people don't realize, honestly, with polling and stuff in this country. It's the same thing with all these gun control polls they have out there nowadays. When you start looking at where they're being polled at, it's usually some left-leaning area in many cases, what it is there. Or it's, in many cases, it would be some BS internal poll that they sit there and lie about and stuff like that. Or it's people that are all like neocons and shit voting on the shit is what it is there. Like, it's not an act, like, that's a problem with polling in general. It's not an actual gauge of what the American people actually want is what it is. It's a gauge of what the fuck they want to manipulate you into believing is what it is. And again, that goes back to media gaslighting, honestly, dude. Because it's them doing coercion, manipulation, outright lies, etc. in polls to make it seem like, oh, 85% or 90-something%, whatever the fuck it is, of Americans are all for universal red flag, universal background checks and red flag laws and all this other horseshit gun control. And then when you actually look at the polls, like the one they did here in Ohio a few months ago, it was 468 people at some college that got polled for it. It was less than 500 people. And you're going to sit there and falsely claim that, like, 90% of Ohioans support this bullshit. No, they fucking don't. Hell, I could go around my small town right now and find 500 people and do an actual poll of where they lie on gun control and stuff like that. And I guarantee it would be a real poll at that point, dude. Or it would be a real gauge of rural America then, in the state of Ohio. And it would be legitimately, you'd have way, way fewer people being like, no, that's fucking stupid. Because we would actually do the polling the correct way, not the bullshit way that they fucking skew the numbers and stuff too, for that matter. Where many times what it is when they're talking about universal background checks, which is nothing more than creating gun rushes in this country, it'll be a situation where they'll be like, oh, do you support background checks? And people will be like, yeah. Not, oh, do you support universal background checks that stop private gun sales and allow the government to create a gun roster in the process? You know what people are going to say fuck no on that one? Everybody. Everybody with a fucking brain is going to say fuck you, fuck that on shit. Never going to happen, bitch. And that's exactly why they have to lie about the stuff, dude. Because that's the whole point. Most people that have never bought a gun in this country have no idea what a 4473 even is, dude. Let alone that you can be disqualified on one under a bunch of different circumstances, for that matter. And they just believe all these people that are all a bunch of psychos or whatever the case, you can just walk into a gun shop and get a gun. No, you can't. If you're fucking, you know, some nut that's got a fucking loony bin, you're going to be a perfect person in many cases, what it is there. So, yeah, it's just a bunch of shit entirely, dude. Yeah, I'm just pretty much done, man. Is what it is. With all this stupid bullshit in general. So. Liberal media tries to compare Trump to Hitler for saying when they let 15 to 16 million people into our country, they're poisoning the blood of our nation. Yeah. Well, the thing is, when you're literally putting fucking open border systems on the, you know, panel and stuff like that, like, how are you not fucking manipulating this country, dude? It's just like the whole Hart-Celler Act 1965 that created the Immigration Naturalization Act 65 is what it was there, where you had two senators at the time named Hart and Celler specifically, and I'm pretty sure that the reason I bring this up obviously is because of that whole gay sex thing that happened in one of the buildings the other day in the Capitol, where it was the Senate Room Hart, which I'm pretty sure is named after Hart from Hart and Celler. And it was these two guys lying on the U.S. Senate floor back in the 60s and being like, oh no, you're never going to see a demographical shift in this country. This country's never going to become less white than it is right now, which is a fucking complete and total lie, dude. And it was proven within like a decade or so. And then you had, because of fucking Reagan and all these other idiots in power, Jimmy Carter, etc. there, they allowed fucking chain migration to become a thing with the help of the Democrat Party in many cases. And yeah, it's why you saw California shift from red to blue. It's why you're seeing Texas in this crazy purple state right now. It's why you're seeing all these states get fucked over constantly, dude, through open borders and everything else like that. That's why they have all these fighting age males come in here now. And then you have pieces of shit like Dick Durbin going out there and being like, oh, we should totally give these guys U.S. citizenship. They're willing to join the U.S. military. Fuck you, Dick Durbin, you fucking traitorous scumbag. That is literally high treason, bro. There's no high treason. We're actually going to go ahead and do a whole thing about that right now for a couple minutes here. When you actually look up the definition of high treason, specifically treason is what it is itself, actually, is, and I quote, the crime of betraying one's country, especially by attempting to kill the sovereign or overthrow the government, which is exactly what you're trying to do at the end of the day when you're trying to put illegals in positions of U.S. military service to become legal citizens. You are literally trying to kill the sovereignty of this nation is what it is. You are trying to destroy us from the inside out is what it is there. It's disgusting, dude. So... Yep, exactly. And it's literally, it's the fucking Democrat areas, dude. It's just like that bitch in Boston, Massachusetts recently, the Mayor Wen, or whatever the fucking name is there, Michelle Wen, where she was like bitching and moaning about stuff, and now she's being rightfully called out as being an anti-white racist piece. She is, honestly. And it's just this fucking worthless ass cunt, dude, who imposed a mask mandate and then a vax mandate in Boston there without any kind of General Assembly approval at all, for that matter, in the state of Massachusetts, without any kind of governor approval or anything else like that, dude. And she is not being handcuffed and dragged off to a prison cell for crimes against humanity right now. It just blows me away, honestly. And I'm very pissed, honestly, right now. Found out about 2 hours ago that my mom actually did take the job a couple years ago. And now I'm kind of wondering if her recent health issues were because of that shit, honestly, a couple years later. So, anyway. But yeah, depending on if Hana does a chat tonight on Rumble or not, we'll talk more in depth on that one for sure. Because we all know that we can't really talk about it here on YouTube, and I'm going to leave it at that, basically, is what it is. So, what we do, we got a speaking code kind of thing is what it is there. But anyway. Yeah, to go all the way back, though, about the Adam22 guy, that guy is 100% a beta cuck, dude. He just wanted the money. So did his wife. It's why they chose to have this weird pornographic scene be filmed is what it is there. And, yeah, he's meeting the backlash is what it is. He thought it was going to be okay to do that shit and found out real quick that society as a whole is like, you're a fucking ass clown, dude, legitimately. And so he has to backpedal and be like, oh, I'm going to have to defend this shit now, whatever the case be. And then when he finally can't defend it anymore, he just leaves the fucking studios of these places. What it is, they're like, do whatever podcast there. So it's just funny. It's just funny in general. But anyway, that's pretty much it for the day. I will be back at some point here this coming week. I'm supposed to be getting a package in on like Thursday or something that has a new cool light in it I ordered for Christmas. And hopefully it'll be bright enough to actually use outside in case somebody is fucking around my house again. Because I think there was somebody fucking around over here the other day. And yeah, hopefully I'll be able to do a review on that then if that be the case. And it is a nice light too. I was looking at it again today and checking the specs and stuff on it. It's got a nice little like spotlight effect on there. It's also got a nice little strobing effect on there too for, you know, to generally confuse somebody is what it is there. And yeah, definitely have to use that to affect it in the features it'll be then. So if I hear something bump in the night or whatever the case be, I got into a whole thing with my sister earlier night about that actually, where we were talking about that. And she's like, just call the cops. And I'm like, you realize it takes them like 45 minutes to get here, right? And she's like, oh, that was the sheriff's office. And I'm like, still, even the fucking little cops back here, dude, it's going to take them like 10 minutes to get out here. By then, if there would be a person prowling around my fucking house, they're going to be gone. No, I'm going to go out there fucking armed. I'm going to confront their ass. I'm going to fucking hold them for the cops until the fucking cops get here. And I'm going to be like, hey, I'm the fucking homeowner. Here's the fucking criminal that was fucking around my property, trespassing illegally, etc. Arrest their fucking ass. So, anyway. Yeah, it is what it is, man. But, anyway. I don't think my sister's a complete anti-2A person, but yeah, she definitely doesn't believe in the whole like self-protection thing like I do is what it is. So it is what it is, man. But anyway, other than that, though, update on mom, though. She is doing good. Talked to her earlier tonight. She's finally eating on her own, but I think she is still heavily medicated, is what it is, from just being in pain, obviously, from the surgeries and shit. So we talked about 3 or 4 minutes there, and then she was all like, I'm getting real tired, and I don't blame her, because they probably sedated her, I'm guessing, honestly, to sleep for the night is what it would be then. And probably drugs kicking in there is what it would be for the sedation and everything else like that. So, yeah, she sounded very groggy when we were talking anyway. So I'm assuming it was the sedation and other meds then potentially. But, yeah, she seems to be doing better, though. And she's still with us, thankfully, and seems to be improving a little bit every day, which is good. So I think it's only a matter of time before they move her out of the hospital settings and into an actual extended rehab is what will be there. And then eventually, back here to the house is what it'll be. So, which will probably be some next year, who knows when. But, yeah, it is what it is. So, fingers crossed she'll be able to get back to living a normal life here sometime next year is what it'll be. And it won't be a situation where this is basically the last that she'll be out doing regular stuff, honestly, because that's the one thing I do fear right now, is her not being able to even drive again ever. So, anyway. But yeah. So, it is what it is, though. At least it was something where they were able to catch the stuff before it gave her a massive heart attack and just killed her. So, it is one of those grace of God things in some cases, I believe. And that's why I do believe in a higher power, honestly. So, anyway. But like I said, that's pretty much for the day, though. Depending if Hana does a chat later, we'll be on that, obviously. If he doesn't do a chat, it's whatever. I'll be doing whatever then here in the house, and then probably just going to sleep for a while, so it'll be then. So, but yeah, I think he said he is gonna do a chat though somehow. I'm just not sure exactly what it'll be. If it'll be on Rumble or someplace else for that matter. Hell, it might be one of those X exclusive ones. Because you can do a stream to X now is what it is there. So, which I'm assuming it'll be probably to Rumble if anything else then. Because I think even X is a little bit, who's to say what you can actually say on that is what it is during chats and stuff. So, but anyway, like I said, I think 2024 is definitely gearing up to be an interesting, very, very interesting day. Then you got all kinds of shit going on in shithole leftist cities and states and stuff like that. As of an hour ago, you had somebody burn down a beautiful LA church just hours before the community toy drive was to happen there. Christians are under attack. Structure has been deemed a total loss. Yeah, how much you want to bet it was some Islamic terrorist piece of shit, honestly. So, anyway. But yeah, we're definitely getting, I think, worse and worse as a nation every single day. That we're allowing Islamic trash to stay in this country, honestly. Holy fuck. Obviously can't show this because I'm not sure that this guy even lived, honestly. The way he was trying to, I don't know what the fuck he was doing there. Yeah, he was trying to fire a rocket or something, and the whole thing just kaboomed in his fucking hands, basically. Jesus. Oh, okay. I see what they were trying to do now. They had a ballistics dummy head there is what it was. And I think he was trying to show the power of this is why you don't stand behind an RPG when it's being fired, over the case be. And then, yeah, the whole fucking thing just went and took his ass out with it. And I'm just like, damn, dude. Fucking crazy, bro. So, ironically enough, that was another guy named Adam on that one. So, from the Ballistics High Speed YouTube channel. I'm sure that's on their channel, honestly. So if you really want to find that, go find it on there. I already did a share to the Ohio Patriot Education Network YouTube channel. Or not YouTube channel. To the Twitter/X account is what it is there. So, but yeah, pretty wild shit, man, for sure. I'll probably post something in the Discord too here in a couple minutes then as well, just so everybody can see if they want to see it on that one. But yeah, other than that though, I will like I said, I'll be back here probably. Let's see, today is Sunday. Probably Tuesday, I think, if I'm going to do another grandstand. And then most likely it'll be Thursday. So, that's fucked up. There's this video where people had that Bill Gates appeal shit, where these companies literally covered the shit up with an organic sticker. That's some fucking manipulation right there for sure, man. It's real fucked up. Yeah, don't eat that shit, by the way, if you want to live. I'll leave it at that, basically. So, anyway. That's about it for today, though. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Like I said, I'll see you probably sometime Tuesday afternoon with another grandstand. And then we'll do Buckshot Thursday on this normal day, Freedom Friday on this normal day, etc., etc. And I'll do a Festivus stream next Saturday, actually, where we can talk about the Festivus for the rest of us. Is what it is. Plus, I really want. I'm probably gonna wait until like early afternoon for that one because I want to see if Rand Paul drops his yearly Festivus stuff, the wasteful budget we have in our U.S. government right now. So, I do love those every year because it just shows how fucking manipulated our shit is, what it is, and why so many people in positions of power right now need to be in prison for literal fucking theft of taxpayer funds. It is. So, anyway. Other than that, though, hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and I'll see y'all on the next one. Have a good one, y'all. And like I said, if Honda does a chat later, we will be on there. Otherwise, see y'all on Tuesday. Later.